Welcome. In today's demonstration, we're going to go over all the steps for getting your 750 sensor, as well as your single point lubricator, hardwired into one of the 16 on-track channels here, as well as going over how to adjust the sensitivity on your 750 ultrasound sensor. Now, there are some tools you're going to need to do this. Make sure to bring along a flathead mini screwdriver, a wire cutter, an ammeter capable of sensing low milliamp currents, as well as some jumper cables, at least 3 to 4. Now, inside your on-track, you'll find a bag of 10-pin terminal blocks. That's where we're going to make all our connections and then pop them into one of these channels. Now let's take a look at the ends of the cables for your 750 sensor. It'll come with 7 loose wires, but you only need the first 5 here. The green and yellow wires are not used, so you can actually just go ahead and cut that off using your wire cutter. Just make sure there's no wire exposed like this, and that they're not touching, so that you don't short circuit your control board. Now these are the ends of the lubricators. You only have 2 wires, white and black, and we'll go over that in just a little bit. But first, let's start with the 750 sensor. First thing you're going to want to do is pop off one of these grommets right here. And inside that grommet, you're going to find your 2-wire bushing plug. You're going to put 1 cable of the sensor in one hole and 1 cable for the lubricator in the other hole. So I've gone ahead and done that. I have my grommet here, my bushing plug, my 2 wires fed in. And then what I'm going to do is just twist them and feed them through that channel before actually hardwiring the connections. Now that since that's done, we can go ahead and look at how to hardwire our 750 sensor first. So just go ahead and grab those terminal blocks. Look at how they pop into one of the channels. They go in like so. Now, let's start making our connections. So I have my red wire in the first, black in the third, blue in the fifth. I left my brown wire that's supposed to go in the second loose for now, and my orange wire that's supposed to go into the 6th terminal loose for now. Now, with your 750 sensor, you'll find this temporary push button with 2 alligator clips attached to it. Go ahead and clip one of those clips into the 10th terminal on one of the channels. That is a ground terminal. And the other one will go on the orange wire. Now go ahead and grab one of those jumper cables, as well as your low sensing milliamp current ammeter. And let's look at those connections. You're going to want to attach that jumper cable to the ground lead for your ammeter. Okay, and then for your red lead, go ahead and attach that to your brown wire. Temporarily right now, terminate that jumper cable that we attached to our ammeter into the 2nd pin where the brown wire would normally go. So let's just do a quick recap before moving on here. I have my jumper cable connected to ground of my ammeter. I have my red lead for the ammeter connected to the brown wire, and that's how we're going to sense the current. And then I have my temporary push button. One lead is attached to the orange wire and the other is attached to ground. Now you can go ahead and turn your ammeter on. I won't do so because my 750 sensor isn't mounted into anything, but let's go ahead and use our imagination here. So let's say this is turned on and we're seeing a 2 milliamp current reading. What you want, the whole purpose of this sensitivity adjustment is to adjust it anywhere from 4 to 6 milliamps. That way we're able to actually capture all 3 built-in alarms for the on-track. So to do that, go ahead and click this temporary push button about 5 to 10 times with a 1-second pause in between. And then just try to see the direction of your amps. Is it increasing or decreasing? If I'm at 1 and I see it increasing, that's good. I'm going to actually just hold it down at that point and wait until I'm seeing it fluctuate between 4 to 6 milliamps. Now, let's say I started at 15 milliamps and I noticed that it was increasing that during that time where I pressed it 10 times with a 1 second pause. All you have to do is press it once and wait 5 seconds, and that will reverse the direction. So then the next time you go to hold it down, it'll then decrease. So all you're going to want to do is play around with that temporary push button until you see that 4 to 6 milliamp reading. And that's exactly the desired baseline value that we want. And that way we can capture all 3 built-in alarms for the on-track. So once that's done, you can go ahead and disconnect your jumper cables, your ammeter, your push button, and terminate your final connections. So now here is where we finalize that brown and orange wire. Once again, the brown will go in the 2nd pin and the orange will go in the 6th pin. So this is how that should look when you're done. And now all that's left is the lubricator terminations. So for that, you're going to want to put your white wire in the 9th pin and your ground black wire in the 10th pin. Make sure all your connections are firm, it's not popping out. And now at this point, all you have to do is feed in that bushing plug into that little cap right there. And that bushing plug serves 2 purposes. One, to make sure nothing gets into the on-track so we can keep that NEMA 4X rating. But the purpose that I like it for is adjusting your cable lengths so that you're not seeing a huge mess of cables inside your on-track. So once you have it at your desired length there, you can just go ahead and pop it into any of these 16 channels. And just to finish it all off, reattach that grommet and twist back on. And there we have it. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching.